I'm not teaching, I'm publicly learning. A hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 101, the American War of Independence part 2, which is on the page 38, while doing morning stretching. And if you participate in the morning stretching, visit your risk. So we already had in part 1 some things, but let's just read it all again. By the 1760s, there were substantial British colonies in North America. The colonies were wealthy and largely in control of their own affairs. Many of the colonist families had originally gone to North America in order to have religious freedom. They were well educated and interested in ideas of liberty. The British government wanted to tax the colonies. The colonists saw this as an attack on their freedom and said there should be no taxation without representation in the British Parliament. Parliament tried to compromise by repealing some of the taxes, but relationships between the British government and the colonies continued to worsen. So, during the 1760s and onward, many families left Britain, and they believed in religious freedom and other liberties, and they settled in America. And the country Britain wanted to tax them, but they said we don't want to pay taxes as long as we don't have members in the British Parliament. The British Parliament tried to repeal, I'm not completely sure what the word means, but I think it means to take them back, to repeal some of the taxes, but the relationships worsened. Let's start with the morning stretching, and if you participate in it, that is at your own risk. We're having the legs standing wide apart, we're breathing in and going down, we're going up and breathing out, and breathe in. Out, breathe in, get on, and again out, and in, and out, breathe in and go down, and out, again in, and out, and last strong breathe in, and out, breathe in, out. Now cross the legs and out. Now next exercise, and we are by all these exercises breathing always in through the nose, deep into the chest and out from the mouth. So breathe in through the nose into the chest, lift the arms up, and breathe out through the mouth and go to the side. And breathe in and open the rib cage. And out. And again in, and out into the middle, and breathe again in, and out over to the other side, and breathe in and open rib cage, and out, and again in, and out into the middle, and up. And directly the next exercise, the legs are standing still, a bit more control of wide apart, we're breathing in, and out one hand slides down the leg and the other shoulder stays down. And breathe in, and out we're taking one arm over. And breathe in and out rib cage. And out back into the middle. And breathe in. And out the other hand slides down the leg and the opposite shoulder stays down. And breathe in. And out we're taking the arm over. And breathe in and out rib cage. And out. Again in. And out back into the middle. So during the 1760s, many families, colonist families, went to what we call colonist families. The colonies were wealthy and large in control of all affairs. Many of the colonist families, so they went from Britain to North America, and they believed in religious freedom. They left, many of them, because they wanted to have religious freedom, especially under James I and Charles I. And they believed in liberty, and they did not want to pay taxes because they did not have representation in the British Parliament. The British Parliament tried to take some taxes back, but the relationship continued to worsen. Fighting broke out between the colonists and the British forces, so it started to lead war. In 1776, 13 American colonies declared their independence, stating that people had the right to establish their own government. So in 1776, the leaders of the 13 colonies of the 13 colonies came together and signed the Declaration of Independence and said in them why and that they should be governing themselves. The colonists eventually defeated the British Army, and Britain recognized the colonies' independence in 1783. So the American colonists won the war, and then in 1783 Britain recognized these colonies as an independent self-governing country, as the United States of America. And with that, we are through with the American War of Independence. Let's end the morning stretching, and maybe when we have time to look for the battles. We are having the feet standing together, the aeronautic aerobatic aeroplane, lifting the arms up and breathing in. And we're breathing out when my hand comes down. And we're breathing in and reaching to both ends. And we're breathing out. And breathe again in. And out when one hand comes down. And breathe in and reach. And out. And again in. And out when one hand comes down. And breathe in and reach to both ends. And breathe out. And the last time, breathe in. And breathe out when one hand comes down. And breathe in and reach. And out. Now, legs are standing wide apart. We are breathing in. And we're breathing out and we're hanging down. We're hanging only to come deeper down. Breathing in through the nose into the chest. And we're breathing out through the mouth. And breathe again in. And out. And again in. And out. And now in. And out over to one leg. And breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And out over to the other leg. And breathe in. And out. And again in. Out in the middle. And breathe in. And out, we're coming slowly up, around back, and we get the top, the backwards, shoulder. And out, feet are staying together. And we're hanging again down. So breathing in. And out, we're hanging down. And breathe in. And out. And again in. And out. And again in. And out. And now last time in. And out, we're coming slowly up, round back, and making it the top but backwards, shoulder. And now just chunky glider at the left, at the end. And we're breathing in. And out. And in. Out. Out. Out one last round, if we're breathing in. out, cross the legs. And we have done the morning stretching. And let's look for what battles we know. What were the battles? So we know of the first battle, I think, is the Battle of Hastings, 1066. So we have the Battle of Hastings, 1066. That was of a normal conquest, a valuable conquest. And the next one is 1314, Robert the Bruce, the Battle of Bannockburn, one of the Scottish army against the English army. So 1066, Battle of Hastings, 1314, Battle of Bannockburn. Then we have Battle of Agincourt, 1415. That was Henry V's vastly outnumbered against the French in the 100 Years' War. So 1415, Battle of Agincourt. 1066, Battle of Hastings. 1314, Battle of Bannockburn. And 1415, Battle of Agincourt. Then we have Battle of Bosworth Field, 1485. It was the end of the 30 Years' Wars between the House of Lancaster and the House of York. So, Battle of Hastings, 1066, Battle of Bannockburn, 1314, and Battle of Agincourt, 1415, Battle of Bannockburn was 1314, Battle of Bannockburn, 1414, Battle of Agincourt, 1415, and Battle of Bosworth Field, 1485. And we have Spanish Armada, 1588, Queen Elizabeth against the Spanish Armada who wanted to conquer and recatolize England. So 1588, Spanish Armada battle. We have no name, but we'll take it like that. Then we have Battles of Marston Moor and Nesby. No date. That was the civil war between Charles II and the parliamentaries, between the Cavaliers and the Roundheads. (1640s, 1642). It would be easy to have a number. Battles of Marston Moor and Nesby. And then we have here the Battles of Dunbar and Worcester. Again, no date. Dunbar and Worcester. So, of the English Civil War we have, singular, we have Battle of Marston Moor and Nesby. That was 1642, and then we have the Battles of Dunbar and Worcester. It must be 1644 or something. And when we have (1690) the Battle of Boyne. That were the James II's troops who had come to Ireland. This was Ireland, the Battle of Boyne Island, because there were some supporters making James II on the throne instead of Mary and William, the Glorious Revolution. And then we have the Battle of Killiecrankie, defeated at Killiecrankie. We're taking Battle of Killiecrankie. That was the support for James. Was it the same James? It was probably the same James. So we're having then the support of James during the Glorious Revolution. The Battle of Boyne, 1690, and it must be at the same time, the Battle of Killiecrankie, that in Scotland. And then we have, there was one more. Battle of Culloden, 1746. That was the son of James, no, the grandson of James II. That was Bonnie Prince Charlie, instead of Queen Anne. Then Queen Anne died in 1714. Instead of George II, son. No, George II, just George II. So instead of George II, then Bonnie Prince Charlie. That was the Battle of Culloden, 1746. And these are the battles we have here so far. And that must be mostly the battles we will be told of the medieval times, and also of the time then, up to maybe even the First World War or something. So I thank you very much. We will repeat all the battles at the beginning of the next part, and the next part will be War of France. I thank you very much, and until next time.